In this video, we're going to be going over some advanced wide receiver routes, and that's also going to include some double move routes as well. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys check out our intro to wide receiver routes video that we did previously before checking out this video. Now let's get into it. This first route we're about to go over is known as the cross route. So with this cross route here, what we're trying to do, we're trying to get into this hash area roughly around 12 to 15 yards downfield. And this route is mainly run by a slot receiver. It's tough to run it from the numbers outside here just because you need to get across the field as fast as you can. So starting with this wide receiver here, the slot, we're trying to work at an angle right off the line of scrimmage, and our goal is to get behind the backers. Once we get to around 10 or so yards, we can start to flatten out and then work to 12 to 15 yards. So your goal is to get behind the backers at first, and then once this safety widens out to whatever part of the field he's covering, then you want to fill that empty spot. If that's versus zone coverage, and then if you have man coverage where, say, this outside backer is staying with you the entire time, what you want to do is called a stair step technique. So you want to get upfield first and then work flat on that step. So it's only one step working up, and then you flatten yourself out. It's a lot tougher trying to get a receiver that's working flat as opposed to at an angle where you're able to undercut that route. The next route is a dig route, and the dig route can be run from the outside receiver or the inside receiver. What the receiver is going to do, he's going to press hard for 10 yards, usually around 10 to 12 yards. If you get to more of an advanced level where you're getting to the college or the pros, they're able to run this at around 15 yards just because of their speed off the line of scrimmage. So, but usually what we like to see is right around 10 yards. So get to 10 yards, you're going to break down, and then you're going to work flat. One of the main thing is you don't want to drift this route back. If you're trying to go and trying to press vertical as fast as you can, and then you want to break down, you don't want to drift away because then that safety or that corner, depending on where you're running it, has a chance to undercut the route and get to that hip. So you want to make sure you're getting to 10 and then staying as flat as possible, which is then going to create separation from you and the safety or the corner. These next two routes are going to be the post sit route and the corner sit route. So we're going to show this from a wide perspective and a slot perspective. So the first one on the left is going to be the post sit route. What we see here, post sit, is going to derive from our last video where we went over the post pattern. Now this is going to be an additive to that pattern. So we're going to still try and work that inside stem, get to around 8 to 10 yards. And then once we get here, we're going to break for the post. Okay, still break at that post angle. Once we get to the hash or right around the hash area, we're going to stop at roughly 13 to 12 yards, and then we're just going to sit right on the hash. Okay, so we're selling the post, which now that corner, say you burn them on a post a couple times in a row, now that corner is going to stay over the top of that, which is then going to give you separation once he opens his hips and runs. So he's going to open his hips and run towards the goalpost. That's when you put the brakes on at around 13 to 12 yards. Put the brakes on, turn back for the quarterback, and then you're able to sit in a hole within the linebackers or right on the hash. This next route is the corner sit route. So with the corner sit route, it's similar to the post sit where you're breaking to the post and sitting down. Now with this route, you're going to be breaking to a corner route and then sitting down when you're roughly around 3 steps into the break. So you're going to get that outside release here, get to around 7 to 8 yards, and then you're going to break for the corner. Once you get around 3 steps into that corner route, you're able to sit down and look back at the quarterback. This is very beneficial for if you get that too high look and then that safety's opening his hips and running with that corner and disrupting that corner. If he's going to stay over the top of that and giving you space to break down and take the space underneath, then this is a great route to add to any type of concept that you have that involves the corner route. The next route is going to be the whip and the return route. So on this left side here, you're going to see the whip route. So right off the bat, what we're trying to sell here, we're trying to sell some sort of slant, some sort of under route, or even that crosser route that we just went over. We're trying to sell that for about 4 to 5 yards. Once we get to 4 to 5 yards, we're putting the brakes down, we're sinking our hips, and then we're working out flat away from the linebacker. So this is going to sell that we're doing some type of crossing route, some type of underneath route, and then once we run that a few times, once we run the crossing routes, the slants, and all that, then we put this in as an additive to it where we're able to put the brakes on, work flat because everyone's so used to us working across the field. So with the other way, so now on the right side with the return route, what we're doing here, we're doing the exact same footwork. So we're working out now instead of working in. So we're trying to sell almost like an out, like a speed out to the flat. And then once we get out here, we're putting the brakes on and then we're returning back inside. So on the left side here is a whip working in to out. And then on the outside here is the return route working outside to in. After showing you some advanced routes, we just showed 6 routes that you can incorporate into your offense. Now what I want to do is get into some more advanced routes in what we call double moves. So they're going to be routes that start off as a basic route. Most of them are going to be the same ones that we had in our last video, and then they're going to have a second move off of it. So starting with this left receiver, we're going to start with a first route called the Sluggo. All right, Sluggo meaning slant and go. So on this left receiver here, we're going to get a 3-step slant, and then breaking in, he's going to still attack that same angle as you would a normal slant. All right, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to get this corner to bait down on that slant. And what we're doing here is on that 3rd step of that break. So 3 steps here and then 3 steps here. So it's going to be on his right foot. Once he gets that right foot down into the ground, he's going to break down the seam. Okay, one of the big keys here is you want to make sure with this Sluggo, you want to flash your eyes at the quarterback. So right here, he should be looking back at the quarterback like he's about to get a slant. From here, and then he goes, sells with his eyes, puts that foot in the ground, and then breaks down the seam. This next route is going to be an out and up. So what we're trying to sell here with the initial get off is we're trying to sell just pretty much a basic 2-yard out. So get here, get to 2 yards, and we're going to flash our eyes back to the quarterback, all right? With all these double moves, the biggest key is the eyes. If you keep your eyes down the entire way and aren't selling that you're actually running that first route, then it's not going to be successful, and then that defender won't fall for that first route. The whole point of a double move is to make sure that they're falling for the first route, and then you can counteract with a vertical movement, another type of break. So with this instance here, we're trying to sell this out. And what we're trying to do is trying to get this corner to step up to this out and try and hammer down this out. From here, we're going to put our foot in the ground, and then we're going to work up the sideline and up the field. All right. Some people call it a wheel. Some people call it an out and up. But essentially, it's the same thing. We're trying to work that initial quick out, and then we're trying to work up field, trying to bait this corner to come downhill. The next 2 routes are going to be also double moves as well. They're going to be a post corner from this receiver on the left, and it's going to be a corner post from this receiver on the right. So what we're going to get here on this left side, we're going to get a post corner. So similar to like the post sit type of situation where you're getting that eager corner that's staying over the top. What we're going to get here, we're going to sell the post still. So we're going to get to 8 to 10 yards. We're going to aim for the goal post. Once we get to our 3rd step on the breaking point here, so we're going to break with our left foot, then we're going to go 1, 2, and then 3. On that 3rd step from here, we're going to be breaking out to a corner. We're going to be breaking at an angle towards the sideline. So we're selling the post 8 to 10 yards here, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So then on that 3rd step, or it's going to be your second inside step, you're going to break back towards the sideline at an angle that's similar to a regular corner route. For this side over here, what we're going to be getting is a corner post. So we're going to be doing the same thing as a post corner. We're going to be getting a initial stem towards the safety. Once we get to 7 to 8 yards, we're going to break for a corner. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get this safety to pop his hips open and then stay towards the outside, towards that corner. Once he breaks towards that outside, that's going to leave that inside open here. So once you see his hips flip, or you can also do the step routine where you're waiting for your 3rd step. So break off the left foot, and then it's going to be right, left, and then on that right step, so on that 3rd step again, you're breaking towards the post. This next route we're getting into is a hitch and go. Some also call it a stutter and go, but we're going to be calling it a hitch and go. So for right here, what we're going to be getting is we're going to sell the hitch first, right? That's the first part of the route. So we're going to sell that initial 6 to 5 yard hitch. What I want to see, I want to get to 6 to 5, and then I want to make sure we turn our shoulders. That action of turning your shoulders is going to tell that DB, hey, he's breaking to that hitch. I'm going to come down hard on it. All right, from there, remember, we got to sell it first. We got to sell the first route. So from there, once we turn our shoulders and give a little bit of a head action where we're looking back at the quarterback, then from there, we put our foot in the ground quick and then break vertical. Okay, if you can stack back on top of the corner, that would be just a bonus, an added bonus. But for right here, we want to make sure that we get him to either pause his feet at around 7 to 8 yards, or to get him to come up to that hitch. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Make sure to check out the intro to wide receiver routes, which is the part 1 of this series, to make sure you guys have all the intro routes down as well as the advanced routes. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and check out other videos just like this. I'm Danny Haddad, and we'll see you next time.